What's up everybody, Nick Brengle here, and today we're talking about how I approach shooting a short film, short documentary, all on my own, completely solo, and we'll kind of go through that. But before we talk about it, I want you to watch a very recent short doc that I put together that was in collaboration with an incredible artist here in DC named Rose Jaffe and with the National Women's Law Center. And the title of the piece is called Birth Control Way. And it was completely shot 100% by me, and we'll talk about the good and the bad and all the gear and what all went into it. Enjoy the piece. Yeah.
So I'm here painting this mural for National Women's Law Center, and it's basically focused around birth control access and defending a woman's right to choose what kind of contraception is best for her. And it's really aligns with my values as a female artist and somebody that believes it's important for whoever takes birth control to decide what that is right for them, and also to be able to have affordable access to it. So I'm painting a really vibrant, colorful painting that also has an important message. I like the idea of a piece of public art being something that's attractive and beautiful to look at, but also has some type of message or some way to kind of spread awareness about a topic. So I thought that this was a really wonderful way to kind of bring something colorful to the streets that might draw people in, but then has a greater message that I felt was important and really aligns with my values as an artist.
Art is a powerful part of activism, and sometimes it can get lost in the fold of the things that we do every day, talking to elected officials, talking to our audiences. And so this was just another tool in our arsenal that we wanted to use.
I love that, and I think that's really the power of public art, is that there's so many things that happen behind the scenes in organizations like yours, but to really have, a piece of art that is part of the kind of campaign to spread awareness, I'm really glad that you went with that direction.
Okay, so right off the bat, I just want to get this out of the way. This entire video that you're watching is being shot in Blackmagic RAW 5:1 ratio. That includes the film that you just watched, all in BRAW, and then it was put into Resolve and it was rendered out as the full 6K file in ProRes 422HQ, and when I dropped it into Final Cut to edit, I edited it in a full 4K timeline because 6K obviously is overkill, and it gives me a lot more latitude when it comes to a bunch of things, as you well know. So in order to even think about shooting projects like this, you really have to know your kit, your rig, and how you're going to go into these situations. For this particular project, it was much more intimate. Obviously, we are going through a pandemic and dealing with COVID, so we obviously want to keep the production as light as possible. But with this one in particular, it had to be because it was in a very tight alleyway with a small lift. And so there was just some barriers that we had to deal with there. So on the rig, to start with, of course, was the Blackmagic Pocket 6K paired with my Sigma 18-35 f1.8 lens, which was used through the entirety of the project. On that rig was also a mini matte box. You had the Nano Nucleus follow focus. You have the Ninja 5 monitor, and then, including with the V-mount battery, I also had attached my Tascam DR60D. I believe that's what it's called, that I've had forever. And I had the Rode NTG2, the old NTG2. It's like forever old now. I don't even know which one they have now, but it's old. And I had that all rigged up, and I have some behind the scenes footage I can show you that my beautiful wife luckily just happened to come out one of the days, and so you get to see it in action a little bit. It's a heavy rig. It probably is around 20 pounds, 25 pounds in that range. So it's not a lot of fun without an easy rig to carry around. But because we're working in such a small space, I had to work with everything on one arm basically. And so the good thing about that is you're kind of limited, and you have to get a little more creative in these small spaces where you're shooting kind of the same stuff over and over again, because the idea behind this particular project was to just share the story of this mural and what it means to not just the city but to women as a whole. So just capturing anything that I could, not to mention it was freezing most days we were shooting, and there's a lot of construction going on in the city and a lot of wind. So dealing with the sound issues was a completely different monster, and I was not super pleased with how the audio came out, but to look at it now as a finished piece and knowing that it was shot by a single person, kind of guerrilla style and a run and gun, that what was captured was intentional for the moment. And so I think all that ambiance and everything that comes into your ears and your eyes is meant for you to be seen there, and just to show you the grit and the reality of being a muralist and working in the city. When you're shooting these short documentaries, or in my case for this was just an artist painting a wall, you want to shoot as much as you can. You want to get back to your desk, back to the editing floor, and have just a ton of things that you can cut up. So inevitably I ended up with a lot of extra footage and stuff that I can use on this video and other YouTube videos or other promotional materials for the artist maybe. But you want to overshoot so that when you're really editing this thing down to at under 5 minute mark, because it's going to live on social media, and we all know the attention span that we have as we're scrolling. So we want to really get it down in precise minutes, and just getting the story out and sharing this quick little snippet of an artist painting a wall, and what the belief is, and just what it represents. And so I do my best to shoot as much as I can, and then when it comes to any talking head or interview conversations that are happening, I give minor direction, and I just sort of let it happen, and I kind of rely on, when I get back home and I start editing, that I can see a little story or little snippets of something that I think is going to be important to the piece that'll hopefully resonate with the viewer. Some things that I always learn from shooting, as a solo filmmaker, which I don't highly recommend. I think it's important to collaborate and bring other people onto the projects when you can. In this instance, it just wasn't really possible. But you want to be intentional and really open to seeing everything as it's happening and as it's unfolding in front of you, so that you're being present and capturing what you think will translate once you're trying to put something together. Because as I mentioned, it gets kind of mundane and repetitive and painting, and you just want to bring some type of creative angle to it. And for me, that's just applying my own personal look and eye to the project. And that's why I love working with artists and brands that truly hire me as the artist, not as a videographer or a cameraman, but as a filmmaker and a respected artist as well, and somebody who can bring that vision or whatever it is, onto your iPhone or your computer, so that people can watch what these artists are doing, whether it's a master class or a mural, or dance, whatever it is, that we want to capture it as authentic as we can. Okay, I think I've said what I need to say about shooting something by yourself, being a one-man band wrecking crew. If you have any questions, anything I didn't cover, I try to keep this as concise as possible, but I know I leave things out. So comment down below, ask some questions. I know I didn't go too much into detail as far as color grading or how I dealt with, these massive files. So if you have any questions like that, drop it below. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, go watch a few other. Consider subscribing. I think like 93% of you are not subscribed who are watching my videos. So hey, hit the button, it's free, and it's pretty cool, because then like the next video comes out and it's me, and then you get to watch it. So until then, go create something, and just be safe, be healthy, and just hug your friend or whoever you're living with right now. Just give them a big hug. Do that.